Okay, I'm back. It's been 1 hour, so I'm going to put the oven on 350 degrees. I'm going to leave the cookies for right now in the refrigerator. Now, I'm going to take one of my gold pans, and I think I can get away with just one gold pan, and I'm going to keep it out. You want to do this cookie on an ungreased pan, so you don't need to do any prep work on your cookie sheet. And those of you that have asked about my gold sheet, it's 14 by 20 by 20. So it's 14 inches across and it's 20 inches wide. And I don't know what the standard is. So as soon as the oven preheats, actually I'm going to show you what the next step, because my oven shouldn't preheat that fast. So let me grab, I'm going to grab, you're going to want to grab a cutting board for this next step. And it doesn't have to be a tremendously big cutting board. It just helps to have something on the cookie when you go to do the next step. And I'm going to push you guys back a little bit. And I'm going to go grab the cookie out of the oven. Now, the 1 hour time frame for the cookie should have allowed it enough time to firm up. If it's still really soft, what you want to do is leave it in the refrigerator until it firms up. But this feels, yeah, it's hard, so it is cold, which is good. So now what you're going to do is I'm going to take it out of the cling wrap. And you want to kind of work sort of quickly with this. You don't want to have it start to soften on you. If it does, you're going to quickly need to put it back in the refrigerator. And again, like I said, you need to be very careful because all these chocolate sprinkles can go all over the place. So what you're going to do, what my grandmother has written down, is you're going to slice these about 3/8 of an inch thick. And I kind of eyeball it because I know what they should look like. But with a sharp knife, what you're going to want to do, and the first one is going to be your smallest cookie. But what you want to do is get them to be about that size. Now, I probably could have made these a little bit more rounded. Or more rounder instead of oblong. Sometimes these will fall apart. So like I said, you're going to have to work kind of quickly. And you just want to line your cookie sheets. So they should look like that. So now if you want more chocolate sprinkles around them, oh, this one fell apart. And sometimes they will fall apart on you. It's like I said, it's been a while since I've made this cookie. And I'm going to move my plastic wrap over so it doesn't go all over the place. So I'm just cutting the cookies while they're still somewhat hard. Move that off to the side. And these shouldn't spread out too much. So I'm just gonna finish cutting these. And one thing, I did this more in a log roll. If you want to make them more rounded, you certainly can do that. It's a little bit more harder to cut them when they're in the round versus if they're in more of a log shaped. And we'll do a small one on me. And although this one won't have any sprinkles on it. So, I'm just gonna get these last one's done. I'll show you what they look like. And that's basically what they look like. You're not going to get as many cookies out of this recipe as you would if you did a chocolate chip, but these are very rich cookies, so a few cookies per day is more than enough. I think when my grandmother did these, she actually tripled the recipe and made a big batch for the entire family. So, now once your oven gets to the heat at 350, you're going to pop them in and you're going to bake them for 20 minutes. About 15 minutes through the cookie, you just want to make sure that they're not burning. So, we're going to wait for the oven to heat up. I'm going to shove these in, and when they come out of the oven, I'll show you the final product. So stay tuned. Well, actually, since you guys, I said it was nothing for my oven to heat. It heats pretty fast. So I'm going to put this on the lower portion of my oven, and I'm going to set a 15-minute timer. And like I said, you're going to want to check them at 15 minutes. They need to go about 20 minutes, but 15, you just want to make sure that they're not burning. When they come out of the oven, put them on a cooling rack and allow them to cool completely before storing them. So, I'll be back as soon as they come out of the oven, and I will close out this video. Okay, and I'm back. It's been 10 minutes. I'm going to take a look at the cookies and see how they're doing. They puffed up a little bit. They're not quite done, so let them go another 5 minutes. And I'll show you in 5 minutes what they should look like. They should be soft. Now, they puffed up. They didn't spread out too much. And, of course, the ones that broke apart. Now, it's very important when they come right out of the oven not to put them immediately on the cooling rack. And I have my cooling rack right here. You want to allow them to just cool for a few minutes on the cookie sheet before you place them on the cooling rack. Otherwise, they'll go right through the rack and you'll have cookie crumbles. So, I'm curious to know, I know, Chelsea, you've been doing a lot of cookies. I did see, Betty, you were making a couple of cookies. I think I saw a cinnamon sugar cookie that you were doing. Let me know what type of cookies you guys are baking for the holidays. If you're making cookies or if you're making something else for the holidays, leave a comment down below. Or let me know Friday night when we do the live stream what you guys are doing for the holidays. I'd be interested in finding out. Like I said, Bob's getting his drinks ready and stuff. And we'll be exploring this guy probably after the first of the year. I'm still getting used to him, but there are a couple of alcoholic espresso shots drinks that we'll be exploring after the first of the year. If you guys are getting new coffee makers or if you're getting a new espresso maker. So, I know there's a little bit of dead air and I'm rambling right now. We got a little bit less than 3 minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my shovel. And you want to kind of use a metal heavy shovel when you put these on. For some reason, when I use the this type that's not plastic, it's silicone, it doesn't work that well with this cookie. This cookie should be on a metal rack. So, while we're waiting for this to finish up, I'm going to go ahead and take you guys over here. I'm going to give you a heads up. If you guys want to do the bullseye or follow along the bullseyes with me for Friday's live shot, I'll give you the recipe measurements. And this one is written in the pounds. My grandmother had converted this for me a while ago. So it uses 1.5 pounds of flour, which equivalents to 6 cups of flour. It uses 1 pound of sweet butter, and that's the salted, not the unsalted. And that's 4 sticks of butter. It uses, I think it uses 3/4 of a pound of sugar. That's 1.5 cups of granulated sugar. It uses 3 egg yolks and 1 whole egg. And we'll go through the ingredients. And I'm going to hold this up. Now, this is not the cookie that's in the oven. This is for the live stream on Friday. So I'm going to give you guys a minute if you want to follow along. Now, there are a couple of things that you're going to need when cutting this out. And I'm going to let the oven count down for a minute, and then I'll take you guys out and show you what you actually need when it goes to cut out. Now, I did say there was one ingredient missing off of this recipe, and that's milk. You need about 1/4 of a cup of milk. And I think the equivalent, once I start doing it, I'll know how much it does. I think it's 6 tablespoons of milk that you're going to incorporate into the dough. Otherwise, your dough is just going to be crumbly. It's not going to stick together like a pastry dough. So we're counting down to the final 27 seconds. And that'll be 20 minutes that the cookies have been in the oven. Now, it's a little bit tempting to let them go longer because they will not look brown. And that's because of the rolled oats that are in this. They will not turn brown, and you do not want them to go to a golden brown color because they'll actually start burning on you. So I'm going to take these out. Yeah, these are definitely done, and I'll show you what you want to look out for. Is if they start to look like that, that means that they're done. Don't let them go any longer. And it's very tempting to look and say, well, these white ones didn't get to this color. You don't really want them to get to that color because then that'll burn your cookies. And I'm turning my oven up to 450 because my husband is going to make chicken wings tonight. Or I will. I have to go get a nail repaired. So what you're going to do, I'm going to kind of slide you guys back so you can see this. Allow them, I'm going to move you guys down. Allow them to cool on your cookie sheet for a couple of minutes. Don't try to transfer them right now because they're too hot and they haven't fully set up. It takes about a minute or two for them to fully set before they can be safely moved. Once you move them to the cooling rack, about 15-20 minutes, make sure they're completely cool before you try one, and then put them in an airtight container. They'll last for up to a couple of weeks. So I'm just going to give it a couple of minutes. While those are doing that, let me let the dogs out really fast. Okay, go ahead. Okay, go ahead. Abigail, you need to go out. So I'm going to show you guys what tool you're going to need for the live stream, or if you're going to do the bullseyes, and we'll go back through this. And there are 2 important ones that you need, and one of them is really easy to use, and one is really, really hard to find. So what you're going to need is you're going to need a cookie cutter. Now, this is really old. This is actually older than me. And I think, I'm going to flip you guys around for a second. Just step over here. And I'm going to grab a tape measure. I think it's 1 1/4. Well, it's a 2-inch. Okay, you're going to need a 2-inch diameter cookie cutter for this. Now, glasses can work. if you have like a juice glass, that will work for this. And then you need just a small piece of pipe. And if you have somebody that is handy with piping and has spare piping laying around, make sure it's not lead-lined pipe. This is what you're going to use to cut out the holes. And I'll explain all of that come Friday when we go into the live stream. So I'm going to set these on my kitchen table right now. Sorry you guys didn't see me for a minute. So, yeah, these have already started. You can, if you're gently with your finger, you can actually feel when they start to set up. And then you're just going to transfer them to your cooling sheets. So they should, and I'm going to put you guys down so you can actually see this. They should look like this. And you just want to be careful. I'm not going to try to do like I did with the chocolate chips where I did too many at the same time. But that's what the chocolate sprinkle cookie looks like now. That one is really warm. And like I said, this recipe doesn't, lift you guys up a little bit so you can see me. This doesn't make a ton of cookies. What usually my grandmother did is she probably tripled the recipe. And this was one of the 5 cookies that my mother's mother would make for Christmas. Now there is one cookie that did burn, and that's this one. So I'm going to put that off to the side. And you just, like I said, you just want these to fully cool before you put them in a container. You do want to be careful with the chocolate sprinkles, because the chocolate sprinkles, if you're moving them too much, can fall on the floor, and chocolate is very deadly to dogs and cats. So you don't want your fur babies getting a hold of the chocolate. Now, I've never tried to substitute this recipe with the colored sugars, but I'm sure if you want to do a different version of this with the more different color sugars, you could probably certainly do that. But I hope you guys enjoyed this Christmas cookie that we did. We're gonna, like I said, we're gonna explore a couple more cookies, and I am going to let you know next week I will be doing a live. I don't know what day it's going to be. If I do a live, it's either going to be the Friday before Christmas or possibly even the Saturday before Christmas, and that's going to be the applesauce cake. My son requested the applesauce cake. So, I'm just going to... Yeah, if they get like this on the bottom also, you want to be careful that they don't get too brown. That's actually a burnt part. And if they really stick, they should be... Let me see if I can find a nice one. Yeah, they should be a nice golden. Probably, yeah, this one is even better. You can see the difference between the two. So you don't want them to get too dark. But that was the chocolate sprinkle cookie. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Tune in. Tomorrow being Thursday, there will be no video that's being filmed on Thursday, but you will definitely see me live on Friday. I look forward to seeing you live on Friday, guys. I'll put out a reminder video tomorrow for Friday's live. And I'll see you on the next Cooking with Joel video.